Hello, boom, there we are, just like that. How you doing, everybody? Welcome to the show. As always, I'm your host, David Burrows. Thanks for stopping in this week. And really interesting weather out there, I must say. It's like a spring day out there. Uh, Always love Mondays. I know I say it every week, but I'm going to keep saying it because Mondays really are awesome because of the awesome people that come on the show and we get to talk with and share with all of you. So wherever you're watching from, thank you for let's start that over. From wherever you're watching from, thank you for watching. Boy, there's a lot of hot topics out there, trending topics that I could talk about, and I've been debating whether or not I will or not. Of course, one of them being Don Cherry, certainly a hot topic and trending, and then yeah. So I'm still putting my thoughts together on that one. And I think maybe at some point I will put something out that shares my thoughts on the whole Don Cherry thing. If you're watching, wherever you're watching from, please be sure to be watching. I'm not sure if the link is there, but be sure to be watching directly from the show with David Burrows page. We are being simulcast throughout the planet, honestly, throughout the United States. We're on a live video hub, thanks to our friend Stephen Healy. And we're also broadcast live in the United Kingdom. Where else are we? Ireland, South Africa, Australia, all throughout the United States. So want to take a moment and say thank you to all of our friends who are hosting us on their Facebook hubs to help us grow. And if you're watching, please take a moment. If you're following from, why am I having trouble talking today? Can we start over? No, this is live. Just keep going. In order for me to see your comments or your questions that you have for me or any of the guests that are coming up here, you must be watching from the show with David Burrows page. So, you know what? Why don't I just put that link? Give me something to do. www.fb.com/the show Sarnia. That's how you find us. You can put that in there. That should show up shortly. So hope you had a good weekend. There's certainly lots to go on. Never lack of anything to do around Sarnia. And sometimes I just have a hard time getting everywhere because there's so much going on out there. And just because it's wintertime, I think sometimes people think, oh, there's not as much to do. I don't know about you, but I still see tons of things happening in our community. So I guess, first of all, what I should say officially to you is Happy Monday. Happy Monday. There was a song. Do you remember the song? Monday, Monday. Yeah, do you remember the song? All right. If you're watching, I'd really appreciate you taking the time to say hello in the comments and where you're watching from so that we know you're going to engage with us here to have some fun with us here on the show. Don't be shy. I won't necessarily ask you to come on camera. You don't have to do that, but say hello in the comments. Let us know where you're watching from and how you discovered the show. That'd be nice to know. Who have we got out there? Let's go out there and say hello to some friends. And there we have, there's Rich Lau out there. Hello, Rich. Oh, you like my suit, do you? Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Rich is a new friend from Toronto area. Are you in Mississauga or like whereabouts in Toronto are you? And of course, our loyal friend, Domingos Fernandez is going to be speaking at Lambton College this Friday to a class of students talking about his story about dealing with MS. Congratulations on that. And who else is there? Oh, yes, our very loyal friend, Danny Cacciamilio. Danny, I got to tell you, you've been sharing the show with David Burrows' Facebook group with a lot of people, so thank you very much for that. We really appreciate you and anybody who's sharing the group and the page with people. I appreciate that. And Rich, Rich, you're from Richmond Hill, Ontario. Rich and I discovered each other on Twitch television. Rich, I should have you on my show here sometime. I'm looking to expand. How about that? New friends, new networks. And KAAJE is out there. They're one of the bands coming to SADfest. We'll be talking with Matty Parker from the band KAAJE coming up about 4:15. And Jay Peckham is going to be joining me here to talk about A Christmas Carol coming to the Imperial Theatre. Our friend Dave Brown, the executive director for United Way of Sarnia-Lambton, will also join us here in a bit. We got a full hour ready for you. But before we do, I've still got lots to share with you before I get to my first guest. Was very thrilled and honored to have this young lady, Carolyn Prevost, joined us here back in September, I believe it was. She is a long resume of success when it comes to sports, between taekwondo, soccer. She's played badminton. Recently won at the CrossFit. She was one of the top at the CrossFit back in Wisconsin, I believe it was. Pardon me. And recently, she's originally from Sarnia. She's also a math teacher, but she was recently in Sarnia this past Saturday as the French community wanted to put on they wanted to put on a celebration for all of her success, and they were honoring her this past Saturday night. And a video was put together, and a piece of that video includes the interview that we had with her here on the show. So I want to say thanks to Meyer Spiller from Cradlefly Productions. I need new lips or something. That's happening. Cradlefly Productions for allowing us to show you this video of Carolyn Prevost, who was again celebrated by the French community at the French Community Center here in Sarnia this past. I'm just going to shut up and let's go take a look.
I was pretty athletic just right from the get-go. J'ai vraiment été initiée dans le sport dès l'âge de 3 ans. J'avais fait de la gymnastique, puis ensuite j'ai pas mal fait tous les sports lorsque j'étais plus jeune. Hockey, soccer, taekwondo, puis là je fais du CrossFit. Donc ça a vraiment été une grande partie de ma vie. I picked up hockey around the age of 5 or 6, same thing with soccer. And I've played both of those two sports all the way until this past year. So I've had so many great experiences because of the sports that I've played. And now I've found myself in a new sport, CrossFit, which actually rewards not being specialized and rewards all around fitness. Avec tous les sports que j'ai faits, il fallait vraiment être discipliné, il fallait vraiment que je gère bien mon temps entre l'école et les sports. Ça m'a appris à surmonter des obstacles, de couper de des équipes, de des blessures, de remonter de des moments difficiles, puis d'avoir des buts, des objectifs, puis de vraiment travailler fort. I was put in the hands of the right coaches growing up, and I was able to really maximize my development. And I think that's attributed to the support that I have at home from my family, and just, you know, having the right coaches and teammates and everything like that. There's days that I don't want to do it. There's days I'd rather just stay at home and watch TV. Things aren't easy and things aren't to be taken for granted in any sport that you do or things that you do. You have to keep working hard. And I have multiple goals. And as long as I am hungry for all those goals, I think that I'll always keep going. I like trying new things and seeing what I can do.
All right. Well, certainly, I would want her on my team. I think. Yes, I would definitely want Carolyn on my team. And I want to say thanks to Myra Spiller from Cradlefly Productions once again. Let's put them up on the screen. I believe, where are we here? Yeah, Myra's out there. They say they're watching. I'm not going to say it in French. My apologies, folks. But they're watching from the French Community Center here in Sarnia. And my pleasure to share that video. Thanks for including me in that video. I had intended to be there to see Carolyn in person, but it just wasn't going to work out. But I was talking with her online recently, and we're definitely going to connect the next time she's down this way in Sarnia. So congratulations to Carolyn Prevost once again. I do see her. I've met her mother and her dad. They come to the Sarnia Sting games quite often, so I'm happy when they come up and say hello to me, and they keep me updated as well. So again, congratulations to Carolyn Prevost and all her success, and I think it was great that she was celebrated here this past Saturday. Thanks again for allowing us to share that video. All right, well, let's continue on. We've got lots to talk about, and right now we need to talk about the Sarnia Sting. Sarnia Sting were off to a rough start where they were 0-7 at the beginning of the season, but then they were able to go on the road and win like 10 in a row out of 11. 10 out of 11 they won. And then coming back here last week, of course, they were good against Flint, Michigan, and then a couple of losses came on the way, losing to, Mississauga when they were on the road there. The final score there, 6-2 to that loss. And then coming back here, the Ottawa 67s were here on Sunday in the afternoon, and Sarnia Sting looking for some payback as they had gone down when they were on the road and on their streak. It was Ottawa that stopped them from winning 6 in a row, and they just haven't ever been able to seem to win in Ottawa. For somebody told me, I think it was for like since 2008 or 2000. It's been a long time, and they couldn't pull it off this time. And then so when they were here on Sunday, they were looking for some payback that just didn't quite work out there as well either. But it was positive in one of the sense of the word. It was Face Off for Mental Health Day. That's what this is all about here as well. And we were glad to be able to support the St. Clair Child and Youth Center who was there. And it's nice to see that the Sarnia Sting regularly give back into the community as well. So if you want to find out more about the Face Off for Mental Health, just go to St. Clair Child and Youth Services on Facebook. You'll be able to get the information from them there. All right. Also, coming up on Sunday, we'll be back at the Sarnia Sting to take on the Sioux Greyhounds once again. Last time they were in town, the Sarnia Sting were able to win that one, so they'll be looking to do it again. And this will be the first ever toy drive supported by the North Kent Mutual Insurance Company. And the toy drive brings some toys on Sunday, November the 24th, and they'll be collected and then distributed to young children in our community to help make their Christmas just a little bit better. So the first annual toy drive, once again, Sunday, November the 24th. What is it, right? If you've been watching from the start, I'm really struggling with my words here today. Anyway, you get the picture there. The toy drive happening, and it'll be between Sarnia Sting and the Sioux Greyhounds. Also coming up, I'll be back at the Moose Lodge coming up this Friday night, November the 22nd. We start a little bit earlier. You know, we're getting a little bit older. We don't want to go out late and stay up all night anymore. So 8 p.m. to midnight, I do karaoke once a month. But they have things happening 7 days a week at the Moose Lodge. And not only do they have things happening there, they're always giving back into the community. And I'll be doing more with the Sarnia Moose Lodge and talking to them more about what they are doing in the community to help you understand why it might be a good idea for you to become a member of the Sarnia Moose Lodge as well. So join me there. We always have lots of fun for the karaoke, again, beginning at 8 p.m. running till midnight, 19 plus evening, but there's cash bar and they have food there. And we'll have some prizes to give away to you there as well. Continuing on with the Moose Lodge, New Year's Eve is where it's going to be. You're going to want to be because the Song Machine Band is there. And they're having a dinner and dance that evening. The Song Machine Band will play all your favorites from the oldies and the classics to the modern day. And they are a lot of fun. And of course, that's New Year's Eve, December the 31st. It's $40 per person or $70 per couple. And you can get those tickets at the Moose Lodge here in Sarnia. All right. I think he's there somewhere. Jay Peckham was there. Jay, if you're there, can you refresh? Or maybe I need to. We're going to see if we can get... Hello, Jay. Well, Jay Peckham is supposed to be joining me here. We'll take a little bit. There he is. I think he's making his way back in. I can't see you, Jay. I don't see you, Jay. Everybody sees me. He's trying to get in to join us here. It says you're there, but I don't see your camera on. All right. Well, we're going to keep trying to work here with Jay to see if we can get him to join us here in just a moment. So stay with us. We'll be back. I'll return in just a moment when we get our friend Jay Peckham ready. All right. Well, we're having a little bit of struggle there, but our friend Dave Brown is here and he's ready. So give me the thumbs up there, Dave, if you're ready, and I'll bring you out. Yeah, perfect. There we are. Hello, Dave. How are you today?
Good afternoon, David. I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm great. I can always count on you to be early just in case things go wrong.
The early bird gets the worm. You know that. I'm always after worms.
I guess that we said that earlier when I ran into you earlier today as well. We've always got lots to talk about, you and I, so we'll just jump right in with that. How's the campaign going for the United Way?
Right now, the campaign's slower than what we've had in previous years. As of 2 minutes ago, we've raised $1,210,200. And that's from 2,397 donors. So right now we're sitting at 63.8%. Still got a long ways to go, about $690,000 to go, and we've got about 5 or 6 weeks left in the campaign.
Okay, so we're a little behind this year, but any thoughts to why that is?
Well, I think there's a number of things this year. Of course, federal election years were always a challenge because you got people focused on that. You've got volunteers going door to door. We could go from a front page story to a page 3 story if one of the leaders do something. But we've also had a number of issues going on with education. And, that kind of thing. We've had some labor disruptions or threats of in certain areas. So whenever you have those kinds of things, people are concerned about what their own income level might be during that time. So they tend to be a little tighter on the purse strings, and I completely understand that.
Sure.
You never know how long those things are going to last. And, it's just changing workplaces, I think.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the continuous, I guess the evil of it all called money, right?
Right.
that we all need. Let's remind everybody just how many services the United Way Sarnia-Lambton supports here.
Well, we have 18 agencies. And that's what we call 18 funded agencies. We used to call them 18 member agencies. And they provide 36 different programs and services. But in addition to that, David, there's always a number of venture grants that we provide. Now, the difference is regularly funded agencies get 3-year funding agreements. They sign contracts. They know exactly what they're going to get over the next 3 years. We know exactly what programs and services we're funding, what the intended outcomes are. The venture grants are shorter term 1-year projects that are up to $30,000 per year, and an agency can reapply for up to 2 more years. And right now we've got 3 venture grants on the go. We just recently funded the Rapids Family Health Team for a memory clinic. They partnered with the Autism Society, Army cadets out in Petrolia. And they've had some terrific outcomes for keeping younger adults, teens, on the right side of the law and motivating them to understand the importance of a quality education and so on. And one of the exciting agencies that we just funded was the Inn of the Good Shepherd's income tax program. And last year, 2,900 income tax forms were done by the Inn of the Good Shepherd staff and volunteers, helping those people of low income apply to get their income tax rebates, all for free, enabling them to get the necessary credits and whatnot that they need. What's interesting about that particular program, Dave, we want to talk about outcomes and measuring the success.
Yeah.
Of the 2,900 income tax forms that the Inn did, 900 of those people access no other programs of the United Good Shepherd. So that tells me, because of the
Wow.
rebates they're getting and the child tax credits, etc., they don't have to go to the food kitchen or to the soup kitchen or any of the other programs. And Miles and I talked about that, and he interprets that data the exact same way.
Well, it's interesting you even bring the tax program up, because I think, and I was talking to Miles earlier today myself, and when we think the Inn of the Good Shepherd, I think we immediately, the first thing that comes to mind is food.
Right.
And
right.
that's all that they are. And people don't realize that the way Miles explains it to me is that the Inn of the Good Shepherd needs 40,000 pounds of food every single month. Or imagine an empty 20 by 40 swimming pool.
Wow.
That has to be filled up every month. And when you put it in that, he's a great way of describing it. But there's so many other, they've got like 30 other services that they offer. And
right.
He said the same thing, that getting these taxes done, a lot of people are not people that are using the food bank. They're just maybe on the borderline there, but getting
Absolutely.
those taxes done and getting that credit, it really helps them get through a good part of their year.
Absolutely. And so Miles and I talked about a year ago, talking about the importance and the growth in demand of this income tax program. And he amazed me with the outcomes and impact. So they applied for a venture grant, and all the forms are online on our website. Any not-for-profit organization with a registered number can apply at any time for funding. So he did, and we ended up funding, I think it was $28,000. Essentially $10 per income tax form that they did, and they surpassed that by 100. And what that does is that enables their volunteers and staff to focus on some of the other programs that they have, knowing that they're going to be getting this $28,000 to fulfill the program this year. So when you add that all up, it's far more than just 18 agencies. It's just 18 regularly funded agencies. And at any time, we could have as many as 6 or 7 of these venture grant programs.
Yeah, well, one of the things I've always enjoyed about the United Way, David, and I've talked about it many times, is the transparency that United Way Sarnia-Lambton offers to the community. You can go to their website, which we've got up on the screen there now, and see the list of all the agencies that are available. You can learn about the process of applying and any questions. And you have really, you and all of your staff of 5, have an open door policy there to just drop in and say hello and ask questions.
And that's one of the directions, loud and clear, from our board of directors, which of course is a local board of directors, 15 people from our community. That's one of their values, is to be as transparent and make sure everybody who asks a question gets an accurate answer on a timely basis, including financial data that is also on that website. In fact, we have our audits for the last number of years available there. And I'm always pointing donors and interested people to the CRA website, which lists every registered charity in Canada and has both a summary and a long-term version of financial data on there. And you're right, transportation, that's important too.
That's important too.
But transparency absolutely is one of the keys. And the whole local piece, and it's something I know is near and dear to your heart, is local. And it means so much more than just the money raised in our community is used for our community. It's that local decision making. We've got 15 people who are deciding who we fund and how much we fund, not direction from Toronto or Ottawa or who knows where.
Yeah, well, and that's a good. You're right. It is a good point for people to understand that there's not some corporate office hanging over your head there saying, "Dave Brown, you and your team must do this," and it's a local organized impact that you and your team are able to do. Thank goodness, right?
Right.
Because that's not always the case.
I mean, there is a United Way of Canada, and they provide a lot of research data on donor trends. They interpret government legislation so that United Ways and the agencies can better understand the legislation and that kind of thing. And they do provide direction. One of their taglines is unimaginable unimaginable, which I
Right.
think is kind of is clever because homelessness and poverty, aging seniors is not ignorable. We do a slightly different tagline here in Sarnia:
Yeah.
youth, families, seniors, results. Because I think
Right.
that really identifies where people's money is going in our community.
Well, it's important to recognize. I'm glad you mentioned that too, because it's important to recognize. I think a lot of times we maybe do think of just seniors when we think of United Way, right? And it's not just about that, and it's about youth, and it's about everybody. It's about covering all sort of demographics in our community. And there's two of those things: homelessness and our aging society that is sometimes ignored, or we don't think, oh, there's no homelessness in Sarnia. Oh yeah, there is.
There is.
It's a different kind, when it comes to youth. It's couch surfing.
Correct.
So we don't necessarily really see it, but there's a lot of that going on. And then our seniors, we have to really work hard at keeping them connected to our community, because I'm just going to talk about one part of that. I'm talking about people in the nursing homes, the Marshall Golan Manors, etc.
Right.
It becomes a very small world for them.
Right.
So these kinds of services that you support is really important.
Yeah, absolutely. That whole inclusiveness is vital. It adds to quality of life. It's great for mental health. And we specifically fund one program for that. Well, a couple of programs, but one in particular that comes to mind is the VON Friendly Visiting Program. And imagine a Big Brother program for a senior. And that's very similar to what happens. Is you've got people who volunteer for 4 hours a week in the senior's home, and they play crokinole, they talk politics, they do all that kind of thing. And some of these seniors are visiting do have a spouse, and that sometimes enables the spouse to get out and do his or her doctor's appointments or grocery shopping and whatnot. We also fund the telephone distress line through the Family Counseling Center.
Yeah.
And that's oftentimes it's a daily phone call just to make sure that meds have been remembered to be taken, make sure everybody's okay, and it's just an ear to listen to. And in the third program is the Meals on Wheels program. And yes, it's primarily a food program, but there's a big part of the friendly volunteer who delivers those Meals on Wheels. I every March get a chance to spend a couple of days on some of the Meals on Wheels trips, and those people delivering foods, I mean, they're more than just volunteers. They're anything from tech support to help them with their cell phone or their cables out. They help them with their email. They help them clean hearing aids. It's amazing what all a Meals on Wheel can do for a senior living alone.
Yeah, for sure. Well, in order to keep things on track, of course, you're constantly doing some fundraising, and we're just before I've got to let you go, let's talk about some of the things you're going to do. Some stair climbing. You're going to talk me into do some stair climbing, aren't you?
I sure hope so. This is our third annual stair climb. It's going to be held at the Marina Park Place Apartments, which we know it all in Sarnia as Sandy Lane. It's sponsored by Drulo, who make a very generous contribution for us to hold the event, plus host the event over at 1285 Sandy Lane. That's Tuesday, December the 3rd, 2019. That, of course, is Giving Tuesday. And people can check out the forum online on our website at www.theunitedway.on.ca, which was up earlier on the screen. Or people can simply call the United Way office at 519-336-5452. And typically you can register your time between 3 p.m. and 6 p.m.
Yeah. Well, it was interesting. We were talking about doing this the other day, and my buddy said, "Oh, well, doesn't your dad? My dad lives in that building." And he's like, "Well, just go up a couple of, just go up the stairs till you get to his place."
Exactly.
Yeah. He's on the 11th floor.
But this was based on the popular CN Tower climb, and the difference between ours and that one, once you start, you really can't stop. You got to go all the way. At least ours, you can stop at each building, and you can even take the elevator.
So I didn't have to do it.
We do ask for a minimum $25 donation or sponsorship total, but I think it could be something that's a lot of fun. People who have done it quite enjoy it, and we hope that at some point is going to be a major fundraiser for us.
Well, I think it's great that you and your team keep things moving along there, and we're going to keep pushing you at this end here to hopefully hit that needs target.
Right.
Is that what it's called? Needs target?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. I wanted to get it right before the campaign was over. That's fantastic. Well, Dave, thanks so much. I'm going to move on now. I appreciate you coming on early, and we'll definitely keep pushing along here for the campaign, and we'll look forward to the next time we have you on.
Thank you very much, David. It's always great to spend time with you and your viewers.
All right. Bye for now. Dave Brown, Executive Director of the United Way Sarnia-Lambton, and they're coming up a little bit short this year, folks. 'Tis the season for giving, so maybe you could reach a little extra deeper into those pockets to help them meet their needs target goal. And we're going to push it along here, as I said to Dave Brown. And why not go out and get some exercise with your upcoming event that they talk to? I'll probably be there. I don't know if I'll do all 12 or not, but you can get off on any floor. Just give them $25 and say thank you very much. We'll be talking about more. And don't forget, all of the folks that we're talking about here on our show today, we'll be posting all the information and all the links so you can reach out to them. Go to the United Way's website to get a list of all the support that they're giving here that stays local in our community. Dave Brown, once again, thanks for joining us. All right, I think we found him. He'll always find a way. There he is in the lobby. Our friend. Do I need to give him any introduction other than, ladies and gentlemen, Jay Peckham? There he is.
Come on.
Come on.
Every guest gets an introduction. Well, come on. You got to.
You don't need one.
What? I don't need one.
Well,
sure I do.
This time it could be Jay Peckham, the fan perspective, and this time it could be Jay Peckham, the chicken wing guy. It could be but today you're Director Jay.
Today I am Director Jay Peckham. Absolutely.
You are a busy guy for sure, and I'm excited. I'm hoping I can make it to this production because I know there's. This is a classic for sure. A Christmas Carol. Anybody 100%. Who doesn't know the story, I'd be really surprised. But was this one that did you get to pick this, or were you given this?
No, actually, what happened, Dave, was that when Theatre Sarnia picked the season for this particular season, initially my good friend Gene Simon was going to do A Christmas Carol, and unfortunately, Gene took ill early part of the year, and when it came up to almost audition time. She realized that she needed to step away from the project, unfortunately. So the theater went out and they put out a call for directors. And at that time, I was actually taking vocal coaching lessons because I wanted to audition for Mamma Mia. And then I saw the posting for the directorial thing with Christmas Carol, and I ended up jumping at that opportunity instead. So I came in, and Gene had done a lot of great background work already, had a team in place and stuff like that. So it made it a whole lot easier for me to transition in because a lot of the work was already done. And then, of course, I completely changed directions on everybody. So we sort of started from scratch, but not really. It was a good process though.
Now, when we talk about A Christmas Carol, I mean, my goodness, I can go back to long time ago, and that was like you couldn't wait for that to come on television on the day of, and even though we were like, I don't know about you, but I got scared as a kid watching that. Sure. I just couldn't look, but we still had to watch it.
It's a scary story, absolutely.
Yeah. How close is this to, say, what we would know as the original?
Well, so the play was adapted from the original text, and I'm sure there are probably multiple adaptations out there. The one that we're choosing to do is the one by Romulus Linney. I honestly not sure how long ago it was adapted, but I mean, it's pretty close to, the dialogue stays pretty close to the original, A Christmas Carol written by Charles Dickens. So, yeah, it's not far off. But that presents a number of challenges for a theater company or anybody trying to tell the story, because it is such a classic. It's something everybody knows. And, what do you do with that? How do you keep it new? How do you keep it fresh? How do you, keep people engaged when every child can pretty much recite the original text?
Yeah.
So, yeah, so that was the struggle for me as a director, because my job is the vision part of this, is to try and look at this from a fresh perspective and determine how we're going to present the material, right? Because you could give the same script to two different directors, you're going to see two different shows. That's just the way theater works, which is awesome. So for me, the motivator here was the fact that, Christmas is a magical time of year for everybody.
Yeah.
And I connected that and sort of juxtaposed that with the fact that live theater is a magical thing as well. And so, the magic
For
sort
sure.
of ties the two together. And so what I really wanted to do was present this in such a way that the audience was going to walk away going, wow, how did they do that?
Yeah.
I want to have that sense of magic, that sense of wonderment, that sense of, sort of joy for the season and that kind of thing. So for me, that was my initiating vision. And frankly, with the cast and crew that I have, wow, I can't believe how well it's going right now, honestly.
And is this an experienced cast, or is there a mix of experienced and some new folks coming in there as well?
It's all of the above, Dave.
Yeah.
They're all Sarnia area people, but I mean, I have some veteran performers in my cast. This is not Craig Matthews. He stars as Scrooge. It's not his first time on stage, but it is the first time I've had a chance to direct him, because he's done a lot of producing work for us in the past and things and other things. But he was also in Miracle on 34th Street last year.
Yeah.
I have Liz Walton in my cast as the Ghost of Christmas Past, and she's certainly a veteran to the boards here.
She's wonderful.
And but then I go and I actually have a gentleman who showed up with his daughters because his daughters wanted to audition, and I was short a male role, a reader for that day.
Okay.
And so I just asked him if he would kind of read a couple of pages just so we had enough to fill it. And he did. And he was good, frankly. And I thought, so I offered him a part and he took it. So, I mean, we're as new as it gets,
Right.
When that happens. But it's been an awful lot of fun working with, the new folks that we have, as well as the veterans, and to see them come together and to take a little something from each other, in learning the craft and how that works. It's really wonderful for me to see as a director when that stuff kind of happens.
Right. And it's not your first time directing, but in directing a piece like this, like you mentioned earlier, that it's the story is already so well known. It's kind of like, knowing the end of Titanic. We know the ship is going to sink, right? So how do you make
Right.
that wonderful for people to enjoy? What have been the challenges along in this for you?
Well, the challenge is, and I mean, as with any live theater production, there's, there's always a ton of challenges. I mean, the best line I can ever recall around that is from the movie Shakespeare in Love, where Geoffrey Rush's character is trying to describe the nature of theater as being one of insurmountable obstacles on the road to imminent disaster. Funny enough, it works out in the end. I don't know how. It just does, right? And you know what? It is so true, because on any given rehearsal, we've had people out. I mean, there have been, moments where, sickness runs rampant, and all of a sudden I got a rehearsal with no cast. And, and then we have, crew who have, had to drop away from the project because of personal matters. And, we've had we just really can't do that. You know, we haven't changed the laws of physics recently, so that's not possible. And so,
what do you mean?
I know, right? Am I asking too much here? But it's one of those things. It's a work in progress until we take the stage on opening night. And then, funny enough, it just seems to always come together.
Yeah.
But you're asking me what are the challenges? You know, the same challenges we face with any live theater production, right? Oh, do we have enough time to do this? Oh, what happened to this cast member? Oh, you all of a sudden are on crutches. Okay, great. How do we work that in? You know, it's stuff like that, you know, and there's never enough time to meet, you know, because a big part of me as the director, I mean, I'm kind of the linchpin to a lot of things, right? But I have a lot of teams doing a lot of things, and I have to place a great amount of trust in those teams, you know, to come through to help make my vision active. And I can tell you, you know, that there are a lot of teams here, from set design and decor with Natalie Jackson, who is absolutely brilliant, by the way. I can't say enough about Natalie. Has done such a tremendous job of some of the set stuff, and Walt Farr, who's doing the building. They've done a great job. But, you know, I didn't have a hair and makeup person really until just recently, and they've started meeting, and now it starts to feel that that's all really kind of coming together. And then, you know, I've got 4 producers, and it just so happens that Craig is also not just Scrooge, but he's also my leading producer. So, you know, so I've got that team doing. So I got a special effects team, which is our staff here at the Imperial, and Brian Austin and Catherine Soulier and Jen and Austin and their team, and Ian, you know, who's responsible for promotions and marketing. And, you know, he's done such a brilliant job. And that was, you know, we had to coordinate that. And I have to trust that these teams are doing their job. And you know what? I am way fortunate. They're all going to make me look terrific.
Well, I think I've said it to you before, right? Surround yourself with people who are smarter than you, and you'll look great.
And in which case, that's not hard to do around here, let me tell you.
Right,
These
there you
guys
go.
are great. Everybody who...
You're at the theater right now, aren't you?
I am. I'm actually upstairs in the Nova room because
they're
building the set downstairs, which I would take you in there and give you a little preview, but no, not going to do it. You got to come see the show.
Got to buy a ticket. All right. Sounds fair enough.
There's some surprising things that are going to happen. I think people are going to love it. They're going to walk away, you know, singing a song and having had a great experience. And I think they're really going to say, wow, how did they do that? You know,
well, that's awesome.
I'm hoping.
Well, that's usually the case down there, the Imperial Theatre, especially with the Theatre Sarnia being involved. I always tell people, you do not have to go out of town to London or you don't have to go to Toronto. We got it right here, and it's really fantastic. And, of course, this all starts on November the 22nd and 23rd with a matinee on the 24th, and then running again through till November 30th. So tickets, I'm guessing, it must be on sale now.
They are on sale. They've been on sale for a while. They've been selling lively. So get your tickets while the good seats are still available.
All right.
And yep, lots of ways to do that too. You can come in and see our brand new box office, because our brand new box office is open here at the Imperial. Or you can check us out online at imperialtheatre.net.
Sounds good. We'll put a couple tickets aside for me. We'll make our way down there.
100%, brother. 100%.
Awesome. Jay Peckham, thanks again. All the best to you. Break a leg.
Thanks, Dave. Appreciate it.
Bye for now. Jay Peckham, he's the easiest interview ever. All I got to do is say one thing, and then he just takes care of the rest. And I really do appreciate him coming on and joining us here today. A Christmas Carol, a classic for sure, begins November the 22nd, as our friend Jay Peckham mentioned. Go online to imperialtheatre.net to get your tickets and buy them online and reserve your seats. Or you can call them at 344-SHOW, that's 7469, or just stop down and see them here in Sarnia at the box office. Thanks again, Jay. We're looking forward to the performance. All right. Well, I know he's been waiting patiently, and I really do appreciate that. SADfest Does that sound like a lot of fun? SADfest? Well, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of music. I can tell you that for sure. And Matty Parker is a part of one of the bands that's going to be joining us here on December the 7th for SADfest. Matty, thanks for joining me, buddy.
Hey, thanks for having me.
I appreciate you coming in early there just in case we needed you.
Oh, no worries. I was just, getting some extra work done. So no big deal.
Perfect. Yeah. And where are you? You're in Waterloo right now?
Yeah. So I'm originally from Sarnia. We've met before in the past. But,
for sure.
5 years or so ago, I moved to Waterloo, and now I've got bands here that I play in, and this is what we're doing. So.
Yeah. And it's nice though that you've been able to, move outside of Sarnia to do what it is you have to do, but you've still got that connection to Sarnia as well, that you can be involved in things like what we're going to talk about here, SADfest.
Oh yeah. You never leave that at all. Like you never, coming from Sarnia, I still got such deep ties with the people there and the bands there and the scene there, having been involved in it for many years. I'm just happy to be coming back and bringing a fresh look and something new to the scene from where I am now, from where I am in life now and stuff like that. So I'm really excited for it. So
awesome. Well, we're going to talk about SADfest and what that is, but first, your band is called KAAJE, right?
Yeah, KAAJE. It's pronounced that way. It's not spelt that way, but once you hear what it is, you understand. We just love jokes and movie references, and that's really all it is. So. Yeah.
So describe. We've got a video clip we're going to play here in a bit, but tell us what's KAAJE all about. What kind of music can we expect from you guys?
So for the most part, we play a lot of originals. It's all indie type music with combinations of rock influences, like bands like Muse, bands like Foo Fighters, Led Zeppelin, into indie artists like Torres. She's an amazing artist that my singer Jeffrey showed me. From different bands like Arctic Monkeys, all kind of infused into this sound that we've created. Right now we've got a lot out there that are just like covers. We're showing people to get interested and see like, okay, this is what we can do. But we're in the process of writing a debut album right now. We've got a couple songs written for that. But for those ones, we want to kind of keep them to just seeing them live. And then once we put out a fully produced variation of that, that's when we want to start showing that kind of stuff off. So, just Perfect. That way we're showing the finished product. So,
yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, we're going to talk some more, but let's give everybody an example. I think this is Muse, I think.
Yeah. Stockholm Syndrome by Muse, one of our favorite covers to play. So,
right. Okay. Perfect. Let's take a look. Stay with us, folks. Watch this from KAAJE, and we'll be right back. There's a little bit of a sample there for what I guess you can expect from you guys there.
Yeah.
And you said that's one of your favorite ones to play. Why is that?
It's just fun. It's driven. Personally, I'm always blown away by my vocalist. I just love watching him do what he does. And with Matt Bellamy from Muse being such a strong vocalist, anytime we get to do a song like that and we can watch him just belt out as many things as possible. It just brings me joy, and also the drums are really fun to play. So, and it always gets a good reaction when we play it. Everyone's like, "Oh wow, you did Muse? Okay, cool, like awesome."
Yeah. And
So,
where was that? That was in Waterloo.
that was in Waterloo. That was the last show that we played. It was at a pub called Molly Bloom's.
Oh yeah.
One of our favorite ones that we go to at work here. So they asked me to come and play. And when we went there, they're like, we want a lot of covers. So we just went through, what do we know? We were like, okay, we got some Nirvana, we got some Zeppelin, we've got some U2, and we're just like, okay, we got originals, but we just blasted them with covers that night. So it was a lot of fun. So
yeah, I know you sent me. I'm sorry we don't have time to play it, but a Led Zeppelin cover that you guys did.
Yeah.
And I was, of course, being an old guy, I was like, oh wow, they were just like right into that. Was awesome. It was so precise.
Yeah.
And it was just really cool to hear.
Yeah, it's awesome. And, especially with the fact that Jeffrey, he's the vocalist in the band, he also plays fiddle. So he sings, plays fiddle, and plays guitar. So that's the three instruments that he kind of mans in the band. And so he was really able to even, break out the fiddle bow and, play on his guitar a little bit and just really do it the way how Jimmy Page did it. So it's a lot of fun to do. And by the end of practice, we're all chuckling, just like, why did we do this? It's a lot of fun.
How did we pull it off?
Yeah, exactly. exactly. So it's all fun.
So when you say now you're putting together some of your own music, do you have a release date set for that?
No, we're taking it slow. We're writing meaningful lyrics. We're writing, meaningful songs. We're working on every part individually as a trio. We're writing it, and we just want to make the most honest version of us that we possibly can to put out to the world and say, okay, we're KAAJE. Like, here we are. This is and we've all come from different bands, different influences, and both Tyler, the bass player, and Jeffrey, the vocalist, guitar player, fiddle player. They both have music degree backgrounds from the universities here. So, it's crazy to be able to have that much talent in one band. And not speaking for myself, but for them, and being able to write music. So that's what we're doing. We just want to take our time and make sure that it's right. And when it's right, we're going to put it out. So
I think it's a great approach because I've talked to a lot of bands and interviewed a lot of bands over the years, and everybody's got their passion into it. I get that, but sometimes I think they get just a little too anxious. Yeah, and it maybe doesn't come across the way they wanted it to, and then they're disappointed sometimes, and they're like, "Well, why didn't that?" So I think it's really a good approach for you to just, if you're not in a rush. But what is the result you're looking for from all this? Is this something that you talk about the other gentleman in the band having degrees in this? Yeah. Is this something that you want to make a career of?
I mean, that's all. I believe it was Chris, when you had Beer Store Money on, one of my good friends there, that said that's always the dream, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it is. I work as an account manager here in Waterloo at a tech startup, and I've got a good thing going here, and I know both Jeffrey and Tyler do as well, and with their jobs. So it's for an outlet for us. It's a way to be creative. It's a way to continue doing what we love. And if something becomes of it, and we really see an opportunity, we'll jump at it. We're all opportunists. We'll take whatever we can get. Yeah. But obviously the reality is that it's not always your first goal. Always have a backup plan. Always have your main focus. And for us, our main focus is always our jobs, and then the band comes as a very close second. So that's what it is. Yeah.
What do you and coming from Sarnia, and we've, again, it's been a while since we've talked, but I know some of the bands you're involved in before, and is there a big difference between the Sarnia music community and to where you are in Waterloo as far as how music or musicians are appreciated or not appreciated, I guess is maybe what I was trying to get at?
It's really interesting. There's a very, very huge difference in the sense that, like, in Sarnia, it's just go out, play, have fun, do what you want to do. My experience in Waterloo, it's a lot of great bands here that are writing their own music and doing stuff, but it is a college town, university town. They love their cover bands out here, and they're respected. Whereas, sometimes you hear a cover band, you're like, oh, all right, how it is, right?
Yeah, I do.
But they're respected here, and they're all very talented, and it's there is a drastic difference between the two, and it's pretty much just the two would be that the cover bands are big here, and there's a huge blues scene. I've never seen a blues scene like this before, especially in the Kitchener area. They just love their old blues music. They have multiple open mics, which I think is something that you don't really see in Sarnia too much, is the ability for open mics. Obviously, there's the Sunday nights at Ups and Downs, which I love personally. But I think there's something here every week where you could go and play music with other people across Waterloo, Kitchener, and just show up, have a pint, and enjoy yourself. So obviously, it's when you got the Tri-Cities of Cambridge, Kitchener, and Waterloo. There's going to be more, but it is a crazy, crazy blues scene here. I've never seen it before like that in my life. So I
had no idea. Yeah. And that's not far from Sarnia. So maybe I'll have to make the trip down, because I really enjoy that.
I would recommend it 100%.
Very good. Well, when I come down, I'll call you up and you can take me out on the town, because I've never done it in Waterloo or Kitchener, so I wouldn't have a clue.
I'll show you the places, I promise.
Awesome. What is it about SADfest? I know it's obviously through some relationships with Chris and a few others, but what is it about SADfest that just got you interested?
I wanted to come to Sarnia with my band, and me and Chris have been friends since grade school. We reconnected through music again, and we've just been keeping tabs on each other. And he messaged me about the festival and said, "Hey, do you want to come and play it?" And right away I just said yes. As soon as he told me the reason behind it, I completely agree. The reason behind it is let's get people out of their seats. Let's get people into an environment where they can feel comfortable. They can, have a good time. They can laugh and just forget about the dreariness that is, the seasonal depression. It hits you hard. It hits me every year, to different lengths. Sometimes you look outside and you're just like, this is awful. Like, the days are short. You're just like, why do I feel so drained all the time? And you just got to keep trucking through it. And the best way to keep trucking through it is to blast some great tunes and have some great friends around you, and maybe a drink or two, and have a good time. You know what I mean? That's all it is. It's just, you gotta, work together as a community. And I really see that's what this is a community coming together to support each other and say, I won't be defeated by seasonal depression, and I'm just going to enjoy time while I can.
Yeah. Great response to that question. And the Moose Lodge being involved as well. They're really big in the community. So it's a really good collaboration that's happening there as well.
Yeah, Chris has told me all about it. He's kept me very much in the loop along the whole process, even asking me, questions and what do you think? And so it's been really, really great to not only, be invited, but to be a little bit involved. And, I'm just excited to get together with a bunch of good friends and, just have an excellent night of fun and festivities. So, and when you're with Beer Store Money, that's what you're getting. So
absolutely. Yeah. They caught my attention a little while ago, and I'm looking forward to it. I know I've got the Christmas parade that night, but it gets done early. So I'll be coming down and looking forward to hearing you guys play as well.
Perfect. I really appreciate that. So,
right. Matty, thank you for taking the time, and I look forward to seeing you again in person and listening to the music.
Of course. I can't wait. Thank you so much for having me.
No problem. Take care, Matty.
Thank you.
Matty Parker from the band KAAJE coming down from Waterloo, making the trip down to reconnect with some friends and to support SADfest. Seasonal depression got you the blue. Get up off the couch. Go have some fun. It's only $10 in advance. You can get those tickets at Cheeky Monkey or the Moose Lodge or any of the band members as well. It will be $15 at the door. So don't wait, folks. Listen. Don't be the last minute town that we tend to be here in Sarnia. Let's get those tickets in advance. I've gotten to know Beer Store Money well, and I know some of the others that are involved in this. It's a community project with the Moose Lodge working together. So it really is a good way to get out and support, get out and have some fun. And like our friend Matty said, maybe a couple of drinks in there as well. And the Moose Lodge is a great space to have some fun. So thanks again to Matty and KAAJE for sharing some of their music here with us. And thanks to our friend Chris from Beer Store Money for keep getting us in touch with everybody, and looking forward to SADfest on December the 7th. It goes from 7 p.m. till 2 a.m. 6 bands are going to be there. So if you love music, that's going to be the place to be. All right. Well, I think I'm almost there. Yeah, pretty much there. Wow. always a little couple technical things that happened. That's just, I think, a test to keep me on my toes. So I want to say thank you to everybody who's been watching here today. Take the time to share this video around if you enjoyed it. We'll be putting out some links to everybody and everything that we talked about here today as well. So we'll be able to give us about an hour usually before all those links show up. And we'll also be putting this on our podcast. We'll talk about that in just a little bit as well. But we want to say thank you to many of our supporters. AskGuy.ca, AG Event Graphics, who takes care of us and has from the very start for 8 years now since the show's been on. So thank you to Guy and Kevin and Kendra and everybody down there. Visit them online at AskGuy.ca. And also we want to say thank you to our friend Joe's Discount Tire. Time to get those winter tires on. Get a hold of Joe's Discount Tire. You can go to their Facebook page, or they're just at the bottom of the hill here at Indian Road. Tell them that you saw it here on the show with David Burrows. And, of course, our friends at Oswald's Diner, who support us at all of our Sting games and support the Sting recap that we had here earlier, as well as our friends at Active Ears here in Sarnia. Christine, Fiji, thank you for your support. And, of course, thanks to all of you. And if you want to listen rather than watch, anywhere there's podcasts found, Spotify, Google Podcasts, we're on Apple Podcasts, anywhere it's found, you'll be able to download the show with David Burrows and take me on a jog with you, take me to the gym, wherever you want to take me. We'd really appreciate that. So thank you once again to everybody for watching, and thank you to all of my guests. Dave Brown from United Way of Sarnia-Lambton, still looking for some support so they can meet their needs target, and Jay Peckham from Imperial Theatre and Theatre Sarnia here, putting on a Christmas Carol. You can go to imperialtheatre.net to get those tickets. And, of course, our friend Matty Parker from KAAJE, SADfest, coming on December the 7th. That's all the time I got for you this week, everybody. Have a great week and an even better weekend, and I will see you next time right here on the show. Bye for now.